and there is fear in the heart of Allah, that Allah will put nur into the heart, and you'll now be able to see what otherwise cannot be seen. But if you exclude Allah from anything, like for example, you take him out of the classroom, it's called secularizing. You take him out of the classroom, so you secularize the educational system. You take him out of the political system, so you secularize the political system. You take him out of the economic life, so you secularize the economic life. You take him out of the male-female relationship, so you secularize marriage and sexual relations. Anytime you take Allah out of anything, He responds by causing you to become internally blind. Musa alayhi salam, and this is a nice story, which leads us to Surah Al Kahf, which explains why is it that so many people cannot understand what are the causes of crime in this country. Musa alayhi salam is in Sinai after they crossed the Red Sea with Banu Israel. Sinai, the desert, not the hospital in Manhattan. And in Sinai they have to remain for how many years? Allah punished them, they have to stay for 40 years. So during those 40 years they are moving from place to place. And they had, I don't know whether you've ever seen it, a mobile masjid. What's a mobile masjid? A tent. You fold it and you take it with you wherever you're going. So wherever they stop, they camp, they pitch their tent, and then they have their prayers. Musa alayhi salam will give a khutbah, sermon. So he gave a khutbah. And then one of the Israelites came up to him and said to him, Musa alayhi salam, what a wonderful khutbah. You must be the most learned man in the whole world. Watch out. Anyone tells you that, what must you do? Immediately you must say, praise is due to Allah. Wait a minute, praise is due to Allah. You know, catch me with that. Praise is due to Him. He is Al-Alim, the learned, and ilm comes from Him. وَفَوْقَ كُلِّ ذِي عِلْمٍ عَلِيمٍ. And above all the learned is He who is the most learned. But Musa alayhi salam didn't say that. He said, yes, I am the most learned man in the world. Secularizing, taking Allah out. And so he paid the price. He's now internally blind, temporarily, internally blind, he can't see. And then Allah said to him, no, you're not. There's a servant of mine more learned than you are, Musa. He said, I want to meet him. I want to meet him. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala directed him what you have to do to meet him, but you're going to have to read the Surah Al Kahf to get all those details, and you have to go to the Sahih Bukhari to get the hadith to get these details. I'm not going to give them those details. You have some homework to do. So he met this man. And we are told that his name is Khidr, Green, Mr. Green. Why is he known as Green? The man who is more learned than Musa alayhi salam, the man who is the most learned of all. Why is he given the name Green? We'll tell you in a moment. So Musa alayhi salam said to him, I want to follow you. But before we give you his answer, Allah describes this man. And He says, وَآتَيْنَاهُ رَحْمَةً مِنْ عِنْدِنَا وَعَلَّمْنَاهُ مِنْ لَدُنَّا عِلْمًا. We bestowed upon him two things. Number one, We gave him knowledge directly from us. So this is not knowledge which is externally acquired. This is knowledge which is internally inspired. And in addition to that knowledge that we gave him, we also gave him rahmah, kindness and compassion. So knowledge which is true knowledge, which is sacred knowledge, that knowledge is always found together with kindness and compassion. It's the same thing with love. When Allah speaks of love in the Quran, He says, وَجَعَلْنَا بَيْنَهُمْ مَوَدَّةً وَرَحْمَةً, and we place betwixt their hearts, the man and the woman, love and kindness. So when it is love, I ain't talking about Shabona's market love. I'm talking about the love that comes from Allah. When it is true love, it always has kindness with it. Rahmah. So this man, Khidr alayhi salam, he has this special knowledge that you can't get from reading books. So Musa alayhi salam said, I want to follow you in order that I can learn from you. He replied, he says, إِنَّكَ لَن تَسْتَطِيعَ مَعِي صَبْرًا. No, you won't be able to show patience with me. وَكَيْفَ تَصْبِرُ عَلَى مَا لَمْ تَحِطْ بِهِ خُبْرًا. And how can you show patience concerning matters which are foreign to your intellect? You have no knowledge about it. Musa alayhi salam said, I promise you I'll show patience. Okay, you can come along with me, but on one condition. What's the condition? Remember, Khidr alayhi salam is talking to a man who just the other day said, I am the most learned man in the world. Khidr alayhi salam said to him, you can come along with me on one condition. And this is very important for the leader to understand. If you want to struggle to build a community of believers that are protected from crime in the world today, this answer is very important. He says, you can come along with me on the condition that you ask no questions until I explain to you. Meaning, until I explain to you that which you are incapable on your own of ever understanding. So he accepted the condition and they went. And then 3 incidents took place. And we don't have the time to deal with them in detail. Number 1, what is number 1? The ship. Number 2, the boy, and number 3, why are you looking at me like that so strangely? Huh? It means you're not been reciting Surah Al KAHF. Number 3 was the wall. They went on board a ship. The boatmen knew him, Khidr alayhi salam. They didn't charge them. But while they were on the ship, 2 things happened. First of all, a little bird came and sat on the edge of the wall of the ship. I don't know what you call it. Sheikh Zaid, what is it called? The bow. And then the little bird flew down, dipped his beak into the water, took some water and came back up. Musa alayhi salam is looking at it. Khidr alayhi salam now teaches him a lesson about knowledge. He says to him, the amount of knowledge that you have and I have combined, when compared to Allah's knowledge, is like the amount of water in the beak of that bird when compared with this ocean filled with water. So be humble with your knowledge. Don't boast of being the most learned in the world. Allah is the one who is most learned. And then he did something strange. He took a rod, maybe an iron rod or something, and he broke a hole into the bottom of the boat. It's called scuttling the boat. Musa alayhi salam was quite annoyed. You've done something terrible, something wrong. Why did you do this? Wait a minute, you're not supposed to ask any questions. Oh, I'm sorry. I won't do it again. They got off the boat, and then they met the boy, and Khidr alayhi salam killed the boy. Oh no, this is really terrible. This is evil. Why have you killed an innocent boy who has done nothing wrong? And of course he remembered what he had done in Egypt. Remember, he killed a man by accident. He suffered a lot for it. Oh no, you're not supposed to ask any questions. Remember that I told you? إِنَّكَ لَن تَسْتَطِيعَ مَعِيَ صَبْرًا. So Musa alayhi salam said, I promise you, if I ask any question after this, you will send me away. And then they kept on traveling until they came to a town. And there they are seeking ta'am, some hospitality. But this town is inhospitable. It would not provide any hospitality, no food, no rest, nothing. Something like Lower Manhattan. Then they found a wall, and the wall was collapsing. And Khidr alayhi salam spent from his own pocket and had the wall rebuilt. Musa alayhi salam sees this, he can't understand. Wait a minute, why don't you at least get some compensation? لو شئت لَتَخَذْتَ عَلَيْهِ أَجْرًا. At least you should try to get some compensation for what you spent on it. Why don't you do that? He crossed the line. So Khidr alayhi salam said, هَذَا فِرَاقُ بَيْنِي وَبَيْنِكَ. هَذَا فِرَاقُ بَيْنِي وَبَيْنِكَ. This is the end. This is the parting between me and you. But before I send you away, let me explain to you that which you are incapable of understanding. You see that boat? There is a wicked king who is coming to seize all the boats. I knew it, you did not. And these are poor fishermen. I scuttled the boat so that I could save the boat. Because when the king comes and he sees that this boat is damaging me, we can go on to the others. And after the king has left, then they can repair the boat. And so what appeared to you to be something wrong and evil, in fact was exactly the opposite. It was something wise and compassionate. And the boy, sometime you plant a seed and you get a rose plant and you praise Allah. It is qurratu a'yun, pleasing to your eyes, that child. Or sometimes you plant a seed and you get a scorpion. Yes. And that child is your ruin. Sleepless nights because of that child. Drugs, robbery, killing, murder, all kind of things. What kind of child is this? He, Musa alayhi salam, looks at the child and can see nothing more than the child. But this man who is blessed with knowledge directly from Allah, he can see. Allah has given him the knowledge to see that this child is going to grow up to ruin the faith of his parents who are believers. And so I killed the child and pray that Allah will give to them another child who will be better than this one, who would be zakat, something that would be comfort for them.